Hello and welcome back to another episode of Handy Dandy Repairs. I'm Dandy, I think I'm pretty handy, and we're going to try and repair some stuff. Today we're looking at a couple of Xbox One X's, actually got One S's, sorry. Got two of them, both have HDMI faults, so let's get under the overhead and have a look at them and see what we can do. Alright, so we got two consoles. So it looks like... Okay, this one is completely missing a port. Sorry, can't even see that. Terrible YouTuber. No, this one here is completely missing that port, which is the HDMI in. So I'm wondering if somebody has taken this port off to try and replace this port with that one. Not too sure what's going on there, but we'll have a look and see if we can get that sorted. And this one is just the output port. So we might jump under the scope and just have a quick look at those so you can see how bad the damage is. So you can see that port's not sitting correctly. That is on the output of the first console, which is missing the input. So I think somebody has tried swapping them over. And then this is the second console here, and you can see that port's damaged. Doesn't look like anything's been done to this one, just damaged. Doesn't look like anyone's tried to attempt to repair this one, so hopefully that'll be the easier one to fix. So let's start with that one. I think let's start with the easy one. I think so. We'll set this one aside for now, and we will quickly tear through the disassembly of this one. Okay, just going to go into the scope here and just show you how dirty this console is. It has quite the dust build-up on it. Look at that dust build-up, and it's not coming off super easily either, so hit it with a stiffer brush. A little bit of IPA to soften it up. We'll just give it a bit of a clean while we have it open. It's weird though, I've never really seen dust sort of stick and build up like that though. Unless it's had moisture in it or had something spilt in it. It's a bit of an odd one. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Hopefully. Now, you can see this port here. Definitely separated and opened up, and is pretty mangled up in there. So let's get it off and get a new one put on there. Better check that I have a port for this actually. What is this? This is a 1S, one of those. I do have one left. Okay, let's get this off. We'll go 480, 480 degrees, 80% airflow, and we'll just heat that until she's ready to come off. Just add a little bit of flux. Now while the board's nice and hot, we'll just clean these holes up. And that's just going to make our life a little bit easier later on. Now we'll come in with a little cotton tip and some IPA. Just give that area a quick clean. Okay, now we can add some fresh flux. And come in with our iron and just tin the port up. Tin the pad, sorry. And we're adding leaded solder here, so that's going to make this a lot easier for us because it has a much lower melting temperature than the leaded that would have been used from the factory. So it should be much easier for us. And there we go, ground pads are all filled. Pads are all tinned, so we're going to tin the port. As I always say, this is just personal preference. I might just quickly do that off camera. Okay, that's all done. Just check we got no bridges. Nope. Beautiful. Now, same thing. I'm going to heat it up from underneath, and we're just going to drop the port in once all the solder is liquefied. Which shouldn't take too long because we're using leaded solder. Take the heat off and just wait a few seconds for that to solidify. Just like that. There we go. Lovely. Now, as always, we'll come in and give it a bit of a quick clean with some isopropyl alcohol, a brush, and just a wipe here. Do this while she's nice and warm. That way, the flux is flowing nicely. And it cleans up nice and easy. And we'll come in with our long bristle soft brush here. Just get in around there. Get under the port and inside the port. Just finish off with a cotton tip here. Now, just to be absolutely certain, we'll come in and we'll check our pins. Should all be nice and solid. Which they are. Lovely. Okay, we'll just have a quick look inside the port. Do with another clean. Lovely. Might as well give that one a quick clean while I'm at it. Now, why not clean all the ports? Never know what's stuck inside these USB ports. Beautiful. Okay. Go back to the overhead here. Get that out of the way. And we're just going to quickly clean off the thermal paste, and then we can get this one back together and give it a quick test. We'll just get this plugged in. quick fan spin. Interesting, because I haven't turned it on yet. Could be just in the settings. But let's push the power button, see what happens. There we go. Let's head over to the game capture and see what happens. Interesting. Still no picture on the screen at this stage. Ah, here we go. There we go. Look at that. Took a minute, but she is working. Let me just get a controller plugged in, synced up. Lovely. All right, I will get this all cleaned properly off camera. Roblox. Where was I? Oh yeah, I'll get this properly cleaned off camera and like all the housings and stuff, get it all put back together and factory reset. But we're going to call this one a quick fix, and we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, bringing in console number 2. The one that's missing a port, and that one doesn't look like it's sitting right either. So I think they've taken the port from here, tried to put it on there, and haven't done a very good job. So we'll try and see if we can get both replaced and go from there. Let me just quickly speed through the disassembly. Where did my exclamation removal tool? There it is, behind my multimeter. Alright. What a lifesaver tool that is. Anyway, alright. Now, let's go into the scope and see the damage that we've got. Because I bet there's going to be some. Alright. So as I suspected, they've probably taken that port off to use here. Whoa. Wow. Looks like they've melted majority of the plastic, bridged all the pins. Wow, okay. Yeah, I think we're just going to take that off and start again. Hopefully there's no damaged traces under there. Now this looks like it's unleaded already, but we're just going to clean these holes up anyway, just because we don't know what they've used. Alright. Now we might come in with a solder wick, just to wick all that old stuff up, because it's just, when you don't know what they've used, you don't want to leave that sort of stuff on the board. It's just safer for me if I just replace everything. even though it doesn't look too bad, and it appears we don't have any damage traces, which is great. I just would rather damaged. Okay. Shouldn't matter too much. It's only the ground. I'll just give it a quick clean so I can have a proper look at what's going on. It appears all our traces are intact, which is great. Now, as you saw, with all the pins being bridged before how they were, what can happen with these Xboxes, especially if you try and power it on with all those pins bridged, is you can blow the ESD booster, which is this chip right here. Now, luckily for these consoles, you can get them, so we'll just have to wait and see how we go with that, but hopefully they're okay. We're just going to tin this area. Might just move over here and retin these ones as well. Not too fussed about cleaning these up. They should be fine. You can always mix the leaded with the unleaded. It's already on the board. It's not a big deal. There's the cable's nice, all right. All right. Now they are ready for 2 new ports. Just managed to get a bridge everything. Now we're ready for 2 new ports. The only issue is I think I've run out of ports. I have indeed run out of ports for the 1S's. So we could probably reuse the old one actually. Have a look at that. I could probably clean that up a bit. So let's give that a quick go. Might as well. We've got nothing to lose. Just put a lot of flux on there. We'll come in with our big iron tip. Nice and clean with no solder in it. We'll just try and sort of suck some of that up. Kind of like we're just tinning the pads, tinning the pins. All right. Now, I will need to straighten these out a bit. You can see some of them are sitting up a little bit high. It's going to cause an issue when it comes time to put it on because they may not make contact with the board. We're just sort of straightening that just a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect because the solder will bridge small gaps because we've tinned the port and the pads. That should be okay. Now we can see there's a bit of melted plastic there, so we'll just cut that off with a knife. Okay. Now, probably isn't the ideal way to do it. Just have a quick look inside the port. Looks okay, a bit fluxy, but we can clean it after it's on the board, that's fine. Should work. So we'll just put this on the board now, just for testing purposes, at least. And then once we have the new board, we can, we have the new ports, once the new ports come, then I will replace that again and replace the other one as well, obviously. But for the time being, we just want to get one on there so we can test it and see if it works. And this port will work just fine for that. And that has solidified, lovely. give it all a quick clean. Get all the flux off the board here. And also get the flux out of the port as well. Like we noticed before that the inside of the port was a bit dirty, so we'll make sure we clean that too while we're at it. Okay, now we'll just check that none of these are bridging. They don't appear to be. Cool, we'll just check them that they're solid, which again they should be. Don't really have too much issue when doing the drop method because ports are tinned. As you can see, these pins along here are all really nicely aligned, but as we get over here, they start becoming more and more bent. So they obviously weren't straight on the port, but as long as they're not bridging to each other, they should be fine. Like I said, I'm going to replace it again once I get a new port anyway. But this should be fine for testing, so let's quickly get it back together. I'll just skip that and we'll start testing. Okay, and we are back together enough to test. So I'm just going to quickly turn it on. Get a beep, that's a good sign, and we'll jump over to the game capture and see what happens. Aha, look at that. Lovely. Okay, we're getting an error. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to try running OSU1, which is the offline updating software. Offline system update. And we're going to run that. See if we can fix it. It may have something corrupted in it. Offline system update, there we go. And we'll just see if this goes through and completes. And hopefully that'll get us up and running. Okay. It appears we've failed the offline update. That's not good. Let me just quickly look up this error. This could be a bad hard drive. So I'm going to quickly get the hard drive swapped out and we will try this again, I think. So we'll try doing the offline update again. And we'll see if we can make it through this time. Okay, getting the error again. The only other thing I can think of is maybe, I don't think it's an issue with these consoles per se, but I know some of them do have disk drive reading issues. So I'm just going to plug the disk drive in and try again, just in case. Huh. And just like that, it's continuing the update. I guess it was just a disk drive issue, hopefully. Alrighty, looks like that may have worked. we're in. Just quickly set up, I'll just quickly skip through this connection. Haven't got the Wi-Fi well connected, so that's not going to work. But I think that's good to go. So I will continue testing and stuff once I'm finished and got it all back together. And I do need to replace the HDMI port again and the other port as well, the output port. Let me just go back over to over here. All right, so yeah, I'm going to replace this port as well because we saw the bent pins and stuff. And we need to do this one here, which is the input port, sort of a bypass, whatever. I, like I said, don't have them in stock, so I need to order them. So they should be in a couple of days. For you, that'll be now. Here we go. Here's our new ports. So I'm just going to get this disassembled again, and we'll tin the ports and we'll get them on. All right, let's set that aside for a second. We'll bring the scope in. And we're going to just quickly tin these ports here. Now, as I've said before, tinning the ports is really just a personal preference thing. It's just something I personally like to do. I feel like it gives me a more solid connection, a more guaranteed connection. If you don't tin the ports, it's very likely that there's going to be at least one pin, sometimes more, that just doesn't connect. And then you've got to go over the whole lot, and it's a hassle. If we can avoid that, we will avoid that. And tinning them is that easy. So on to the next one. This one doesn't want to play ball like the other one did. So a little bit more flux, clean the tip of our iron, good to go. Oh, the bridge there. Beautiful. All right. We've got two ports there, we'll set them aside. We'll bring your board under here. Just weigh that down a little bit. Just put something on there to weigh it down. And now, one at a time, we will get these changed over. So we're going to go 480, probably 80% airflow. And as always, we're just going to heat from underneath. I'm just going to heat the whole area up here so that we can quickly do both ports at once. Gonna chuck a little bit of flux on this. We'll give it a few seconds to cool down. Okay, now that that's cooled down a little bit, we can come in and give it a quick clean. Maybe a slightly stiffer brush. And a quick clean up without the cloth. And inside the port. Have a quick look inside the port. That's better. Perfect. All right, so we'll quickly check the pins on these. Move the microscope in a little bit. There we go. Perfect. And that's why we tin the port. Well, we don't have any issues when it comes time to check the pins. All right, so we'll just go back over the overhead. Lovely. All right, I'll get this plugged in. And we will jump back over to the game capture. Hopefully we will see an image. And there we are. Lovely. Might just quickly run through the setup and just test a few things just to be absolutely certain. Skip the sign in and voila, we are working. Lovely. Should be in 1080p, yep, cool. And I'm pretty sure this was the 1 terabyte one. Let me just check that. Yep, 780 gig, yep, okay. 213 gig free, okay, we need to delete some stuff, I think. I'm just going to delete everything because this is all previous owners' save data and stuff anyway. So we're going to remove everything. This will take a while, so we'll just let that go. and we're going to call it there. So that's 2 consoles now fixed, 1 terabyte console, 1 500 gig console. So they're both ready for sale, and hopefully they sell quickly. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.